This is a horrible drawing of a robot. But aren't they fascinating? They never sleep, never complain, and never post mysterious Instagram notes, clearly directed at one specific person. At this point, technology has become so advanced that I think my phone understands me better than some people do. Spotify knows that I'm sad. TikTok somehow knows that I'm supposed to be studying. And YouTube keeps recommending me how to fix your life videos at 2 a.m., which honestly feels personal. But underneath all that entertainment is a serious question. Can technology replace the human mind? Not just our jobs, not just our routines, but our ability to think, create, and feel. Because technology is no longer just something we use, it's becoming something we depend on. Think about the average day. We wake up to alarms on our phone. We use GPS because most of us get lost without it. We ask AI for answers without even trying to think for ourselves. Honestly, some people trust Google more than their own memory. And memory itself is becoming a problem. I barely remember phone numbers anymore. If my battery dies outside, I'm not temporarily offline, I become a missing person. Humans are addicted to convenience. If an app saves us 5 seconds, we download it immediately and hand over all our personal data without asking questions. Why cook when food can be delivered? Why walk when you can order a ride? Why struggle through an essay when AI can write one in 10 seconds? Students, especially, have fully embraced artificial intelligence. Teacher says, please write me a 1,500-word essay. Students say, absolutely not. Then suddenly, ChatGPT becomes a study partner. And AI writes with unbelievable confidence. Even when it's wrong, it sounds correct. Picture this. It's 1 a.m., your assignment is due the next day. Your eyes are burning. Your motivation left hours ago. You stare at the blinking cursor like it personally ruined your future. Then AI appears, like a fairy godmother. Don't worry, I'll handle it. Introduction, done. Conclusion, done. Reference, somehow done too. Anthony Lewandowski, the man behind some of the most ambitious self-driving car technology the world has ever seen, declared something that should make every one of us pause. Data is God. Think about that. Not a tool, not a resource, not an aid. God. And in many ways, bear with me, Lewandowski is describing our world accurately. Technology has accumulated more information in the past decade than in all of human history. Machines can now diagnose diseases faster than doctors, predict weather patterns with breathtaking precision, write legal documents, compose symphonies, and generate art. The sheer scale of what technology can do is staggering, almost terrifying. Almost. But here is where even God-like data meets its limit. Because the more technology thinks for us, the less we think for ourselves. And the human brain is like a muscle. If you stop using it, it weakens. We don't memorize things anymore because our phones remember everything. We don't sit with boredom because entertainment is constant. We don't reflect deeply because answers arrive instantly. Convenience has made life easier, but it has also made thinking optional. And nowhere is this more obvious than with GPS. GPS has completely destroyed humanity's sense of direction. Before technology, fathers would confidently get lost using pure instinct alone. Now the voice says, turn left, and you still miss the turn. Then the voice says, recalculating, with so much disappointment. Like, okay, relax. We're both trying our best here. But beneath the jokes, something real is breaking. You can sit in a room with 10 people, nobody speaks. Everyone is scrolling. Occasionally, someone looks up and says, wow, that's crazy, before immediately going back to their phone. Meanwhile, someone else in the room is having a full emotional crisis, unnoticed, unseen, undone. That is not connection. That is the illusion of it. Artificial intelligence is becoming smarter every day. It can create art, write music, generate voices, and answer questions. But when Elon Musk's Doge was deployed in the United States, ordinary American people with no data, no processing unit, looked at its outputs and said, something's wrong here. Not because the data said so, but because something in their gut, their conscience, their humanity refused to be overridden. You cannot build a machine that feels when justice has been violated. Let me take you somewhere technology can never fully go. A classroom. Not the polished classroom in a promotional brochure. My classroom. My classroom where a student, let's call him John, sits in the back row, arms folded, eyes fixed on the floor. Not because he's bored, but because he was carrying a weight so heavy that learning feels like a luxury they cannot afford. No algorithm flags that, no data point catches it, but a teacher does. I saw it happen. I saw a teacher pause mid-lesson, mid-sentence, and simply ask John, are you all right? 3 words. And in those 3 words, John, who suddenly decided that nobody cared, suddenly found out that somebody did. The lesson continued. But something had shifted. Something irreplaceable had passed on between 2 human beings. I left that class that day, and I wondered to myself, can a screen do that? Can a chatbot notice the slight tremor in a student's voice before a presentation? Can it sense that a child is not eating, or that home is not safe, or that the silence is not shyness, but survival? And I'm answering it today. No, it cannot. That's why Professor Wole Soyinka, a man who has witnessed the full sweep of humanity for over 6 decades, declared with absolute certainty, nothing will ever replace human contact between learner and teacher. Not the projector, not the textbook, not the AI tutor or the adaptive learning app. The contact, the human contact. The moment when a teacher looks at a student and without a word, communicates. I see you, I believe in you, you matter here. Because education is not merely the transfer of information. If it were, we could replace every teacher with a search engine and every school with a server. Education is the transformation of a person. And with transformation, comes relationship, trust, and the irreducible presence of one human soul reaching towards another. The philosopher Albert Camus stated that the purpose of life is to live it so intensely that death itself is afraid. Now, I'm certain that nobody has programmed that into a machine yet. Because meaning, the kind that gets written into journals at midnight, the kind that drives a parent to work 3 jobs just to get their child to university, the kind that makes someone forgive the unforgivable. Meaning cannot be generated, but can only be lived. So no, I personally don't believe that technology can fully replace the human mind. Technology is here to support humanity, not supplant it. Because the moment we stop thinking, questioning, imagining, and connecting for ourselves, we do not just risk losing efficiency, we risk losing something far more greater: our humanity. So maybe the real question isn't, will technology become more human? Maybe the real question is, will humans remember how to stay human in a world run by technology? Thank you.